Hello and welcome to Wednesday's Wellness Tip. I'm Julie Crane and thank you for joining me today. So today we're going to be continuing on with our little mini series Nutrition 101 and continuing our discussion on enzymes. You know, this discussion about enzymes is so important. I really want to spend enough time that you understand the importance of what enzymes do for your body. You know, this has been a personal health journey of mine to really understand enzymes and just to let you know how much of a difference once I understood this information and started taking a supplement, how much it helped with the issues that I was experiencing. So, as mentioned before, but I just can't repeat this enough, is that we need to understand that the types of foods that we choose to eat, particularly when we're eating, more of a modern lifestyle, fast food, pre-processed type foods, coupled with this lack of digestive enzymes, it is truly causing an epidemic in health and gut issues. So those are two of the key things that we can do to really improve our health. Is improve our diets, what we intake, and get more enzymes. So last week, I just want to run through some key points of last week. Enzymes, as we talked about, are small protein molecules that are naturally found in foods, both in meats and plants. They are found only in raw, unprocessed foods. Why? Well, because if they're heated to more than 118 degrees, it kills the enzymes. So it doesn't matter if you grill it, bake it, boil it, fillet it, have it be processed or pasteurized. All those things heat the food way higher than 118 degrees, which ends up killing all of the enzymes that are present in those foods. Now remember that enzymes are these protein molecules that are catalysts that make possible the chemical reactions that are needed in order to digest our food and break it down into usable, absorbable nutrients. So as we've learned before, we have macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are those things that are on your plate, like your meat, your potatoes, your broccoli. The micronutrients are what the body needs in order to feed the cells. And so the enzymes play the key role of taking those macronutrients and breaking them down into the micronutrients so that the cells can be fed. So as you can see, if you take out that step of the enzymes, then you're not going to be able to shift from macronutrients to micronutrients, and we're going to go into that more. So really just think of enzymes are like the life force that is found in foods. And when we eat them through eating raw foods, then we actually transfer that life force into our bodies to help keep every system functioning optimally. Now, we also are born with a certain amount of enzymes. So we each have our own tank of enzymes. I compared it to like a cell phone battery last time. But the challenge is unlike a cell phone battery, when you run it clear down to when it's completely gone, is you can plug it in and recharge it. And that doesn't work with enzymes. So once the enzymes, our tank or battery of enzymes is gone, it's gone. And so that can start to create a lot of problems. But just remember, simply put, enzymes are what turn those macronutrients or the foods on our plate into the micronutrients or the form that our bodies and our cells need. And when we don't have enough enzymes, food is not properly digested, and that can lead to disease. So when enzymes are not present in the foods we eat, the body's going to mobilize the immune system to finish the digestive process as much as it can. And as a result of this, so you think, oh, immune system to continue the digestion. Wow, who knew, right? But then when we think of issues, as this can lead to disease, does that make you think of autoimmune disease? Right? So as a result of using the immune system to try to finish digestion, it creates more autoimmune disease and more chronic degenerative disease. And this is why we see those escalating, and the quality of life for people is declining. So if you think about it this way, there are multiple enzymes, different kinds of enzymes that are going to digest different types of foods. So if your body uses up all of the sugar digestive enzymes because you've eaten a lot of processed sugar when you were young, then you're going to become type 2 diabetic. If you deplete the enzymes that digest milk because of drinking lots of pasteurized milk, you're going to become lactose intolerant. And then when you use up your fat digestive enzymes because of eating a lot of fried or fatty foods, you're going to gain weight. You're not going to be able to digest those fats. And this is going to lead to gaining weight and possibly moving into obesity. And as that fat continues to circulate in the bloodstream, undigested, it's going to eventually cause an obstruction. And if that obstruction reaches your brain, then you're going to have a stroke. And if that obstruction reaches your heart, then you're going to have a heart attack. So which is the #1 killer in the world today, is heart attack. So see how important these enzymes are. Now, in order to maintain your health and keep from getting autoimmune diseases and degenerative diseases, the key is to effectively digest your foods. And that means increasing the amount of raw fruits and vegetables that you eat, and possibly consider supplementing with a digestive enzyme if the switch to raw foods is not enough. So is there a way to know if your enzyme tank is getting low before you start to have these awful full-blown gut issues that people experience, me being one of those? Well, yeah, there are ways to recognize this. So one of the first clues that your body is lacking digestive enzymes is indigestion. So if you're experiencing symptoms like gas, heartburn, bloating, excessive burping, upset stomach, diarrhea, or any symptom that you might normally address with an antacid or an acid blocker, these are all warning signs that you're not digesting your food properly. You are not antacid or acid blocker deficient. You are enzyme deficient. So while we're talking about antacids and acid blockers, so these would be some of those that like claim to reduce gas and block, acid, stomach indigestion. Let's take a minute to kind of talk about these. Now, we've talked before about medications are created to treat symptoms. They're not created to treat the cause. And that's the same with antacids and acid blockers, is their purpose is to treat the symptom. Now, with when we have digestive issues such as indigestion and gas and bloating, typically the symptom is pain. So again, they're created to treat that symptom of pain. And how they get rid of the pain is they actually stop the digestive process. So you might feel better because the pain is gone, but the pain is gone because the digestive process has been stopped. And this can create major issues because when you stop or block digestion, this can lead to undigested food circulating in the body, which can open the body up to major bacterial overgrowth and toxic buildup. And while these medicines were once considered a very safe medicine to take, Many of them are over the counter, and there are prescription types. More research is indicating problems with the use of antacids. So have you noticed that you're having trouble finding the antacid that you used to use? Maybe you're one of them that used Zantac, which is one of the most popular antacids. It was available both in over-the-counter and in a prescription form. Well, unknown to most of us consumers, retailers such as CVS and Walgreens quietly removed many antacid products from their stores back in September of 2019. Why? Well, it turns out that there was research that showed that an ingredient in most of the popular antacids and acid blockers called ranitidine could cause kidney damage and other issues, some issues even leading to cancer. So as the FDA continued to look into this, they found out that there were actually significant carcinogens found in the over-the-counter acid blockers and antacids, and that these could cause potentially severe damage to the body. So this does include that favorite popular Zantac, which actually was once hailed the #1 treatment for heartburn for a very long time, for decades. It also includes other antacids and acid blockers that included the ranitidine in them, because they found that these type of acid blockers or antacids, anything that has an ingredient to neutralize the stomach acid, actually contained an ingredient called nitrosodimethylamine, or NDMA. So that's what's found in things like Zantac, Pepcid, and Prilosec. So in April of 2020, the FDA finally ordered manufacturers to immediately pull all over-the-counter and prescription drugs, antacids and acid blockers that contained ranitidine, because as they did more research, they did find that there was a high possibility of carcinogens that the body was being exposed to. There were significant linkage to kidney disease, kidney damage. They also found issues with depression, and this makes sense when we start to understand the gut-brain connection. And so a lot of people were experiencing depression from taking these drugs. And even newer research shows that these drugs do actually significantly increase kidney disease, stomach cancer, and heart disease. They also contribute to what's called primary pulmonary hypertension, which is a rare lung disorder that causes high blood pressure in the lungs. It happens when the blood vessels in the lungs narrow and raise the pressure in the pulmonary artery above normal levels. They also found people had a high risk of Crohn's disease. Now, Crohn's disease is actually a type of inflammatory bowel disease, and it causes the digestive tract to become inflamed and causes arthritis, or is associated with arthritis. It can cause severe diarrhea, abdominal pain, cramps, and weight loss. And they've also been found this ranitidine was also connected to bladder cancer. So they were taken off the market, but that was done very quietly, and everything was kind of slid under the rug. Since that time, I believe they have come out with a Zantac called Zantac 360 that is formulated without the ranitidine in it. But anyway, like I mentioned earlier, Zantac was the #1 selling drug in the world. Its use was so widespread that a study done in 2017 actually showed that the urination of ranitidine into the wastewater was causing carcinogenic pollution of municipal water supplies. So again, the nitrosodimethylamine, or the NDMA levels, rose in the water due to people that were using it peeing it out and it getting into the water system. That's how crazy that is. So anyway, decades of research has determined that NDMA was actually the result of an inherent instability of the ranitidine molecule. And that means that all manufacturers, name brand or generic, and all batches of ranitidine containing medications could generate very high levels of NDMA in the human body. And like I mentioned already, a high level of NMDA was shown to cause cancer, kidney disease, and all kinds of issues. And though this news is a surprise to us, the cancer connection has long been suspected. In 2004, a study by the National Cancer Institute actually linked ranitidine to bladder cancer. But unfortunately, it takes a long time for all of this research to come forward and be to such a significant, event that they finally take it off the market. So there can be a lot of people that can be hurt before these drugs are removed from the market. But it is interesting when you think about it that for decades, supplement sellers were vilified by the FDA for warning customers of the dangers of heartburn medications and for trying to suggest a safer alternative such as enzymes, probiotics, ginger, or licorice root. So many supplement sellers were issued actually warnings for saying that herbs could cure heartburn issues. And now we're finding that these medications have been causing a lot of health problems for people. So now the products with the ranitidine, they're now off the market, and customers have basically been advised to dispose of any remaining product. So if you still have an old prescription of any of these drugs, Prilosec, Zantac, what was the other one? Anyway, really want to get rid of those. If they were done anytime before 2020, 2022, you want to get rid of those. Whether it's over the counter or prescription. So if you do come across any of those, you want to take them to a neighborhood pharmacy and ask for them to dispose them for you, because you don't want to put them in in our water or flush them down the toilet. We don't want to dispose of medication that way, because again, it will get into our water. Now the FDA is continuing their investigation, which started in 2019. In August 2022, generic manufacturers did agree to more than $500,000 in a Zantac settlement about a week before the lawsuit was to go to trial, and there's still other lawsuits that are pending and are in the appeal process. That's how widespread this was. But the FDA's advice to those that were using these medications was to switch to another government-approved medication. So just keep in mind that Zantac was government-approved for over 35 years. So does that really even make sense? I mean, the alternative to drugs is more drugs. Well, I want to offer you a more natural alternative to waiting another 35 years to discover that the new drug that you're taking and replacing the other one is now causing you problems. So I want to end today's discussion introducing a wonderful product. I was introduced to it about a year ago, and it has made significant difference for me and the gut problems that I was experiencing. I don't want you to have to wait until we're done with our discussion here on enzymes to find out about it, because it is so important. This is the best enzyme supplement I have ever tried. And believe me, I have tried, I would say almost all of them, but very many of them. So I would just invite you, if you're experiencing any indigestion, gas, bloating problems, if you're falling asleep quickly, within a couple hours after eating, if eating makes you fatigued, to consider trying this product. It is the best supplement I've ever used, and believe me, it can really help. This is actually a plant-based enzyme blend, and it has all the enzymes that the body needs to turn food into usable fuel, like protease to break the proteins down into peptides. It includes many enzymes that you're not going to find in other products, like dipeptase, which helps digest glutens. It has lactase for dairy products and peptidase, which converts protein peptides into amino acids, and other amazing stuff. It actually contains a patented probiotic that is stabilized and proven to survive the harsh stomach environment and implant into the intestines. So it's awesome that it has that probiotic in there. And the probiotic is filled with friendly bacteria to help the nutrients be assimilated past the gut wall and into the bloodstream. This also contains aloe vera leaf, which is a main source of organic materials and minerals and electrolytes that are required to activate enzymes and power the uptake of nutrients into your cells. This will help accelerate healing, reducing constipation. It's going to lower your blood sugar levels and improves your digestive health. Now, these are pre-digested and ready to hit your cells. So it's amazing. It is an amazing, amazing product. So this is the best, most complete digestive enzyme that you will find, and I highly recommend it. So I'm going to include a link in the description, and if you use my code, which I'll include there, OHSJCrane, you will receive a 10% discount on your first order. So we're going to continue our discussion again about enzymes next week. We're going to go in and talk more about how you can tell or what are the symptoms and what happens within your body when your digestive enzymes are depleted. We've talked about today about what happens when that tank starts getting low, but then what are the further effects that happen after you've depleted your enzyme tank? So I hope that this was helpful. I really hope that you will try this product if you're experiencing any of those symptoms, because it is the best. And I'm happy just if you put a comment below to help you understand how is the best way to use this product to its best benefit. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week when we finish up our discussion on enzymes. Have a great day.